Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 10, Chapter 10. Beside, Behind, Before. Part 2 of 3. Train yourself to like what you have to do. There is no doubt that volunteers, Sevadal members, bhajan leaders and participants, and everyone else who is engaged in the activities of the Sathya Sai organization are on this path at different stages. Most of you are in the first stage, the Karma Jijñāsa stage, able to distinguish the right from the wrong so far as your activity is concerned. Nature, the individual and God. Of these three entities, Karma Jijñāsa has to consider all three, whereas Dharma Jijñāsa has to do with the last two, and Brahma Jijñāsa deals only with the last, that is, Brahman. Remember the last stage even when you are in the first, for that is the end of the journey, the goal. When you have the goal in view, wherever you are, it will fill you with genuine joy. Do not seek to do things that give you sensual or temporary satisfaction only. Do not crave to do what you like, but train yourself to like what you do, or what you have to do. It is sadhana, spiritual discipline, when you are willing to undertake work that promotes your real welfare. Then only can nature and the individual self be eliminated, and the Brahman alone established in the consciousness. Now you have to cultivate the attitude of the servant of the Lord. Work is worship. In that spirit, offer your service to others, whom you have to adore as embodiments of God. It is this attitude that gives maximum satisfaction to the pining heart. Basis of Radha-Krishna relationship. Two gopis were moving about on the sands of the Yamuna, talking about Krishna and lost in the contemplation of his sports and his majesty. Of them, Niraja had a doubt suddenly arising in her mind. It was a metaphysical conundrum. When I practice identity with Krishna and feel that I am Krishna, I am afraid that I will lose the thrill of being with him, conversing with him, and hearing his sweet voice. I long to be distinct from him and to taste the love and glory that he is. Then Sarala, her companion, consoled her and said, "No, your fears are baseless. For Krishna too is contemplating you and your purity. By the time you are transformed into Krishna, on account of the sadhana of identity, Krishna would have become you as a result of his longing for you. And so there need not be any apprehension in your mind or frustration. Prakriti is dhara, earth, creation. Think of it always, long for it, pine for it. Dhara, dhara, dhara. And you find you are pining for Radha, Radha. So Radha is the becoming and Krishna is the being. The desire of the being to become, the longing of the becomed for the being. This is the Radha-Krishna relationship, which has been sung by seers and poets, maligned and caricatured by ignorant critics, appreciated and apprehended by aspirants, analyzed and realized by sincere scholars of spiritual love. You are the image of the Supreme Atma, the image that is reflected in the body that is part of Prakriti. nature. Your body is kith and kin of all the objects that surround you in nature. Your body is an object among so many, the original divine spirit, the individualized spirit, which is the image and the objective world of which the body is a part. These are the three entities called Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti. Success in sadhana is won the moment you are able to either deny the objective world as a delusion or recognize it as nothing but the Supreme Spirit itself. Purify the mind to cognize God in everything. In ordinary day-to-day arithmetic, 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. But in the arithmetic of Atma, the 3, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, minus 1, Prakriti, is equal not to 2, but 1, Ishvara. For when the mirror, the Prakriti, goes, the image, Jiva, also disappears. When the mirror is eliminated, two entities disappear, the mirror and the reflection it can cast, and you merge in the divine. The path of seva that you have chosen now will lead you gradually to the stage when the mirror can be transmuted beyond existence by means of vairagya, renunciation. When you see the idol as God, you transmute the stone out of which it is carved, of which it is composed, out of existence. The stone has been eliminated when you see only God in the shrine. Purify and cleanse the mind so that wherever you turn, not only in the shrine, not only in the idol, but in everything at all times, you will cognize only God. Then the mind becomes your best friend, your most efficient instrument of liberation. The mind plays infinite pranks, and so it is labeled as a monkey. There is another characterization also, not so popular. It is referred to as a snake, for it does not move straight. It sizzles over the earth in a zigzag course. The mind delights in crooked stratagems and clever contrivances. It avoids the straight path of veracity and sincerity. Again, the snake injects poison and grabs living beings that come in its way. But the mind snake can be charmed into innocence. The snake charmer uses the instrument, the nadaswara, and when he blows music out of it, the snake sways its hood entranced. So too, the mind will sway in unison with the music that emanates from the namaswara, the recitation of the name of God. The mind projects on others its own defects and deficiencies. That is the deadliest effect on our progress. One has to overcome this nefarious tendency. Inward vision alone can reveal the truth. The sage Paramananda had 10 disciples, each a notorious example of sloth and stupidity. On their travels, they came across a river which they waded through on to the other bank. The water came up to their necks in some places, and so, when they struggled on to land, they decided to find out whether all had arrived safe together. They feared that some of them must have been swept away by the swift current. Fear and the consequent confusion heightened their native stupidity. At last they discovered that one of them had been washed away, For whenever each of the 10 counted the others standing in a line before them, he left himself out and found only 9 men before him. All 10 confirmed the conclusion that one of them had disappeared in the flood, and the 10 wailed for the last man, and were so plunged in sorrow that the hullabaloo they raised brought a farmer to their side. He asked them why and got the answer that of the 10 who waded across, 1 was drowned. The farmer saw that there were 10 men before him. They challenged his verdict, and he demonstrated how they counted, and verified that 1 had really been lost. The farmer told them that each one had omitted to count himself. The outward vision was wrong. The inward vision alone can reveal the truth, he advised them. We are trying to discover God, searching for Him throughout the universe. But we omit to investigate His existence within ourselves as the very core and keystone of our being. When you discover yourself, all veiling ceases and you attain supreme happiness. This is real self-knowledge. You come to know that you are a spark of the divine flame. Very soon you realize that others too are sparks from the self-same fire. How then can hate or anger or envy or greed survive in the sunlight of this vision? End of part 2 of 3. Dharmakshetra, Bombay, May 21st, 1970.